Hello and welcome to today's video as we cover the next LEC team of my 2026 previews. Natus Vincere, I'm sure that's not how it's pronounced. We're going to go with Envy for now, and not the Envy as in envy us, but Envy. This is the team that's taken over for Rogue, a squad that came to us in 2025 towards the end of the season and had last been in the LOL esports space in like 2013 or so. Maybe 2015 was the latest in Russia, in Eastern Europe. So they struggled last year taking over Rogue's roster, which was one of the worst ones. I have them ranked 10th going into the split, ranked as the lowest team of the 10 Tier 1 teams. And considering this roster, I think there's something to be optimistic about, unlike last year's roster. Excuse me. 22 years old, average age. They've allowed Mainter to come in. So Mainter is in top lane, 25 years old, making his debut. I don't know if he played in LCL. He might have, which would have exhausted his rookie status back when that was still a region that was Worlds qualifying and existing, for that matter, standalone. Adam is out, Malrung is out, and Rylek, who they signed last year, is in. Poby joins. Larson technically still inactive on the team. They brought in Paris and allowed Execute to walk. So the solo lanes average out to 7th place between Mainter and Poby. Mid-jungle duo 9th, bot lane duo 9th. There's something, though, like I said, to be said for this team. Now, in top lane, I don't think this guy is a world beater by any means. He's 25 years old, finally getting an opportunity, but it's giving the Antonio vibes, but a little better. The Antonio had no business being in the LEC at the time. Mainter's stat line, although very average, in terms of kill participation, literally 51%. That's actually less than a lot of players. But the CS per minute, damage divided by gold, share differential, all pretty standard. In terms of vision efficiency, good. 3 is solid for a solo laner. Laning wise, he was dominant, up 187 gold, 154 XP. But at the same time, I expect a 25-year-old in ERLs to dominate. Like, there is experience there that 16, 17, 18-year-old players do not have. And if you're not, opening up leads on them, this is why you are where you are, right? So there is that to be said. 1 solo kill every 5 games, 1 new champion every 7 games or so. I have him 10th in the role. Rumble, Ambessa, and Aatrox, 38% of his champion pool. Rylek at jungle. Solid numbers here. Somebody that I think, they signed last season between spring and summer, which was an odd move because they couldn't play him in summer and they played Thiger in his place. Another young jungler, to be fair. But this kid looks good. 4.2 KDA, 74 KP, 7 CS per minute. So high resource. Dealt a good amount of damage with a 1.21 ROI to join that high resource. Negative 2.9 share differential. Great vision, plus 5. We like that. Ahead in the jungle, 120 gold, 200 XP. 1 solo kill every 6 games in the jungle. So aggressive, finding ways to get advantages in that way as well. Able to outplay your opponents and get solo kills at a high clip. Better than 1 new champion every 4 games. I have him ranked 11th due to this stat line being at a lower level of play. Zinjao Viego Neferi, 39% of his champion usage. Also keep in mind, it does not include summer, so those summer champions and metas do not affect his stat line, and we do have to consider that when we look at this. Poby in the mid lane. Excuse me, I don't know why Fnatic let him leave. I understand Vladi was a player it's hard to pass up, but this is the type of player that you could probably build around in your team in Europe. 19 years old, very young, very good laner. High resource, mechanically able to last hit very well. 9.6 CS per minute. That's one of the highest that you would have seen in summer across the entirety of the world. 62 KP, 5 KDA. Didn't die very much, wasn't all that involved. And I wonder if communication was an issue, because his damage divided by gold is extremely low at 1.43. and a 1.2 share differential. And that's because of a 9.6 DS per minute. He was getting the gold, but he wasn't dealing the damage associated with it. And so with this team, hopefully they have better communication and he can utilize that gold and turn it into damage. If he can, the sky's the limit for the kid. Obviously, we saw him replace Faker a couple of years ago, and he was very, very young. He had no business being in that position, and it's not his fault. But he outperformed my expectations with Fnatic come this summer, getting them to Worlds. I didn't think he was going to do that. But at the same time, these numbers have to get better. The damage has to get better for sure. 2 vision score per ward place. That needs to be better, relatively even at 15 minutes. 1 solo kill every 4 games or better, which is nice. A new champion every other game. He played 15 champions in 30 games. Ranked 6th in his role, based on this stat line last season. Orianna Azir Victor, 37% of his champion pool. In the 80 carry role, there's Samdi, formerly known as Samdi, and then Hans Samdi, and thankfully he went returned to this name. I know some people are excited about the possible Hans Sama, and Hans Samdi matchup. And just like that, I'm really happy it didn't happen. So, 24 years old. These numbers occurred with Rogue when he, this team, Envy, in summer last year. He joined the team for 8 games. They didn't win a single one. Their team sucked. Couldn't get it together. If I recall, Execute actually got in trouble, got suspended. Trick came out of retirement. I mean, a real mess of a team. 1.3 KDA, 51 KP, 94 CS per minute. Didn't deal any damage. 3.3, 6.3. I mean, negative 9.4. Like, this team needs 3% of damage or so. And that's going to have to come out of Poby and Samdi. These numbers obviously are scuffed as hell. Samdi more so than Poby. I mean, Poby had a whole 30 games. But, those two are going to have to really be the 1A and 1B carry on this team to have a chance. I think the jungler is good, though. Vision efficiency, not very good. Got gapped in laning phase. It's going to happen when you have a jungler playing support alongside you. 1 solo kill in that time. Played 7 different champions. I mean, he only played Xayah twice. It is what it is. I have him 9th in the role. If we use what we've seen lately, that, a Korean import comes in at 80 carry and ends up being average at best, Samdi is going to be better than 9th. He'll probably be 7th at worst. And that's where we kind of see an improvement for this team. Paris at support ranked 6th in the role. I thought he was very, very good with BDS last season as a rookie. It's a shame that they went away from him, because I think the kid's really good. 2.6 KDA, 76 KP, 76 ROI. So not as involved, more of a traditional support at 0.76, but involved at 3 out of every 4 kills. Vision score solid, nearly 2. I was looking at the negative 6.5, but that is what it is. With BDS, he just wasn't expected to do any damage from the support role, which really we don't expect all that much anyways. 1 solo kill every 25 games. 1 new champion played every 4 games. 6th in the role. Very good. Very good. Rel, Rakan, Alistar, 54% of his champion pool. Hopefully going into this next season, he grows from that and isn't so reliant on Rel and plays more champions. Otherwise, you can leave up Rel and have your counter ready, and he'd take it. The Rock as the coach. The Rock has 0 Tier 1 head coaching experience. So there is that. A coach that's trying to cut their teeth in Tier 1 of LEC. And then there's some interesting players. I think the jungle, mid, and support can be something to build around. We'll see if the top laner is ready for this opportunity. And Samdi, I mean, like I said, Korean imports usually do okay. He's been around the block. He's well-traveled. I think he played he's played in every major region except the LCS so far, and hell, he played in Latin America and CBLOL, so definitely Latin America. Excuse me, so nearly, he came that close. Well, technically, hell, if that Latin American team fell under the LCS now instead of CBLOL, depending on where they were located, you may be able to reach and say he did play in all 4 major regions. But That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.